Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious.
I think it's like self-defeating. But like, if you say that somehow we're trying to come to a conclusion about nature, and we had no observation of it, then we could say that we either exist or don't exist, and we're not sure about what that the case be.
Okay.
Can you fill me in on the conversation, Vivi?
Can you fill me in on that?
Yes, I got it. I'll send you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Gmail. Oh wow, there it is. All right, I'm just gonna copy the pen. All right.
All right, Craig, get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm just.
Stacey, don't talk to Craig like that. I'll fuck you up.
Wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
Got it?
All right, yeah, I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Yo, Vivi, did you also subscribe to PewDiePie?
No, I don't subscribe to any YouTubers.
Dude, you better subscribe to PewDiePie, man.
Better subscribe to the Nameless Debate YouTube, you little motherfucker.
Well, like I actually don't
Oh, I
subscribe.
got a front row seat. This is
dude.
good shit. Let me just mute myself.
Did that just
You're
go
so
off?
fucking dead, dude.
Did that just go off? Holy shit. My bad.
Achilles. Oh wait, yeah,
Okay,
Achilles.
so-
Tell Craig to get the fuck out of here, man.
So in saying
Yo,
what
Craig,
we were
fuck
talking
off.
about. What we were talking about was what existence, and then he was
Yo, the subjective-objective dichotomy.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think morality is objective, or can you derive that someone is ought to do something?
Me or
yeah.
NSYNC?
Anyone who is willing to answer.
Yeah, morality is an objective phenomenon, yeah.
How
Is
would you
or is not?
Is.
How?
All right, now hold on. Let's hear it from InSync because you're the smartest on philosophy, and I've never heard that argument successfully projected. So let's hear it.
What? So you think morality is objective, and we can derive values from the external world without having a
That's not quite what I said.
subjective? Okay.
I had this
I said-
conversation with
So
him.
the phenomenon of morality is objective.
Yeah, like as in like subjective, like subjectivity.
No, but the
people.
consensus.
You know,
How do you
but
come
just
to look
off?
at
Let him
Just listen.
speak.
Yeah, just listen. Subjectivity
This is
is
why
an
you're
objective phenomenon, right? Like a consequence of the objective world is that there are subjects.
Yo,
And,
don't flip
like-
the script. Dude, don't use the dichotomy to flip the script. Because
No, dude,
one cannot exist
the,
without the other. One cannot exist without the other.
that's not true. The objective world can exist without the subjective world. Like before humans were developed, the objective world was chuffing along just fine. The whole
That's
point
what you
is.
think. That might not be true as well.
Look, like that's what the evidence suggests. You evolved from things that were there before you evolved.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the things were there before you were there to look at them, right?
Duh.
Yeah, so then the objective world, the superordinate to subjectivity.
Yeah, but once we
And-
rationalize and try to...
No.
concept-
And the subjectivity that we're talking about is a consequence of objectivity. It is a consequence of the mechanics of the objective world that subjectivity exists. Right? Subjectivity is an objective phenomenon.
The same
Holy
can be said.
Wait, so you're right. Subjectivity isn't what?
Yes,
Subjective-
it is.
What? I
There are
fucking hate
subject-
philosophers. You're not wrong, but fuck that's.
And so then if subjectivity is an objective phenomenon,
Yeah, you're
then
right.
morality as an element of subjectivity is also an objective phenomenon.
Okay, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
but
like,
how
that
would
makes
you-
that's a self-defeating purpose, then, right?
It's not though.
But like, you just said like subjectivity is objective.
I said subjectivity is an objective phenomenon. Can you please stop leaving off the end word? It's relevant.
Okay, is an objective phenomena. So it's important to note morality is an objective phenomena,
Wait, who
but
said
not
the
a
N-word?
subjective opinion.
No, no, it's not. it's not that it's an objective phenomenon. Just even the fact that it exists, and it seems to be, as far as we can tell, it's objective because morality develops
because
wherever you have
perception is
humans.
subjective.
No, but the point is that perception is part of the objective world, and so are morals.
But you assume that. What if perception is all
No,
there is?
dude, it's deductive, alright? If there is such a thing as morality, then it is an objective phenomenon, and if it's not an objective phenomenon, then it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but how would you distinguish it as an objective phenomenon? Like there is no universal understanding of morality.
Okay, how do I distinguish it as an objective phenomenon? I'm a bit confused about the question, alright? I'm saying, like, causally, it's objective. Everything about morality is determined by objective factors.
So even our subjective opinions are determined by objective factors.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
So you're basically a nihilist?
No, I'm not a nihilist.
So
Anti-solipsist.
I'd probably call myself an anti-solipsist. Yeah, probably.
Wait, what is it? Wait, no.
Solipsism is the belief only in the self.
okay, so I have a question for you.
Wait, say again. Is the belief that what?
It's the belief only in the self.
Oh, so wait, no, as in like self, as in yourself, or everybody's self?
Subjective self.
I have a question for you.
Well, it's like everybody is a fragment of your imagination, kind of thing.
I have one question then, and this is serious because Darth Dawkins could not answer this question for me.
Wait a minute, Instinct.
Darth Dawkins, bro. Fuck Darth.
Yeah, he couldn't answer this
You're
question.
gonna have to wait a second, Tenzil.
Can we speak in private?
Just give me a sec, man.
If I leave my kitchen and turn off the lights and walk out of the room, does my fridge still exist?
Yes.
If another person can perceive it,
how
if
do
there's
you
another
prove
perception to perceive
No,
it.
no,
How do
one's
I
in the room.
prove it?
No one's in the room. No one's in the room.
What prove it is in with certainty?
I don't know, man. I need the answer to this question.
yeah, there is
that-
no
like
certain-
object permanence is like an agreed upon concept.
So it's like it's
So-
axiomatic.
No, it's like deductive. Like you look at the evidence, and it seems as if things exist when you're not there to look at them. Because what's the argument I gave to begin with, right? If that were not the case, how would you have evolved from such things? Right, like if the elements from which you evolved didn't like even exist before you were there to look at them, how could you have evolved from them so that you could look at them?
No, it did exist, right?
No, but the question that he asked is, does his fridge exist when he leaves the room? Which is a question about object permanence. And I'm
Permeance?
saying permanence.
Oh, I got a front row seat to some good shit. Let me just mute myself.
Did that really
Right,
just
so-
go off again? How the hell did that
No,
happen? My
he's using
soundboard's
a-
not even on.
Yeah.
No, my soundboard's not even on. How did that happen?
I don't know, dude. Maybe someone else has copied it.
But yeah,
So what was
like
the
object permanence exists because we think there's a mutual plane of
No,
existence
dude,
where
it's
other
not about-
observers can interact.
It's not about what we think. Either the theory of evolution is true, and thus object permanence has to be true, or you don't believe in evolution, in which case you're in contradiction to science.
Oh no, but like that's not the science. Oh, how are you in contradiction with science? You could say,
Because scientists do believe in evolution.
but like you can suggest other theories that might
Sure.
be plausible.
Yes, you can. I've never heard any, but you give it a shot.
I have not given.
The divine command theory.
No, okay.
Yeah,
let's-
divine command theory is implausible, dude.
Wait a minute. Instinct. Can you just tell me what I'm
Yo, we're in rational territory. Let's not go to irrational matters right here. Like,
What did you say, Chetfield?
I was like, can we
let's
speak
not go to
privately?
religion.
I mean, we can talk about it here if you want.
Okay, sure. Do you know why I'm not clerk?
Yeah, I do know why you're not a clerk, yeah.
The reason being?
Well, it seemed like you're abusing your powers a bit again.
Wait a minute. I never abused my powers today, though.
No, look,
Who
you
did?
tried to create a situation where you were able to assert your authority over another clerk.
Wait a minute, but that clerk was being racist.
Nope,
I
he
don't really
wasn't.
think he was. I heard
No,
the
so he
account
wasn't
of
being
it.
racist, but he encouraged racism.
Dude, but you
Um, Look, there's a fine line between the two. I don't even really agree that he committed the second thing, but he definitely
yeah,
racist.
because Terrence kept using the term nigger.
Yeah,
To it,
because it's contextual.
Crambo
You don't
encouraged.
understand racism. You don't
Look,
understand racism.
I think it's fair that Terrence is a bit triggery, right? He's trying to be a bit edgy, but I don't really care. That's not relevant. What I was talking about was your interaction with Crambo and the stuff you said to Crambo and the way that you tried to handle the situation. It's just unbecoming. It's unbecoming of a staff member.
Wait a minute. How's the way I tried to handle Crambo unbecoming?
Unbecoming.
Unbecoming, then tell me.
Yeah, it makes our team look bad, mate. Like, you basically tried to imply that because you were a clerk before him, that you are more important.
Yeah, but wait a minute. So you think it's fine by saying that all Muslims push gay people off cliffs?
He didn't say all Muslims. He said
did, though.
Muslims do that.
No, he said all Muslims.
No, stop. Stop, Tanzil. Alright? I've checked. He didn't say all Muslims.
Well, sorry, I don't think you were there in that debate.
Well, I checked with the person that you said was there, though.
Who was?
Vivi. You said Vivi would back you up, and he didn't.
No, I said Vivi was in the chat.
Yes, and we asked Vivi, and Vivi did not back you up.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. He did say all Muslims.
I'll tell you what he said. He said Muslims push gays off cliffs, and there are things that may have been implied, but have not been stated.
Wait a minute. To which I said, no, they don't. He said, oh yeah, they do. All Muslims push gay people off cliffs. Remember?
I'm pretty sure he didn't say all Muslims.
He did. I'm very sure, man. I
Trambo, did you say all Muslims?
The statement that I made was Muslims push gays off of buildings.
Yeah, did you ever use the word all?
I was very careful to avoid that.
I imagine you would be, right? Because that is the only way that the statement can be permissible. And so I actually believe you. I think you didn't use the word all. I think Tanzil imagined the word all because it was implied. But you're not allowed to... Listen, Tanzil, listen. You can't make an inference about what someone intended to mean.
Mate, I'm not intending to anyone. I think I'm understanding. I questioned him, and he actually used the term
I'm understanding perfectly.
No, I questioned him, and he used the term all.
He did not use the word all.
He did.
Prove it.
Well, according to you, you can't prove anything.
Well, you could have a recording of it if you were being
Where
clever.
does the burden of proof lie, my friend? With the positive claim.
Who's
Yo,
fucking...
Cranbot
If some
Cranbot
doesn't
is
stop
innocent.
breathing heavily into their mic, I'll throttle them to death.
Yo, Cranbot is innocent until proven guilty. So.
Well, I just realized something. That doesn't always apply.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, it actually doesn't always apply. It's an optimistic look on life, and I think it works.
That's what we aim for. It's not like an optimistic look.
Yeah, there's no absolute certainty.
Okay, so let's say, for example, somebody's dead, and then you come into a room. You go into that room, and you see the person dead, and you see next to him a person with a knife, and the knife is the guy looks pretty angry, and he looks like he's about to stab him again, and he looks at you, right? And then you automatically assume he's the killer because it might save your life.
Of course, but that's
so
not...
why did you assume guilty before innocent?
Because what you're talking about is a practical situation, not a legal situation. You're not saying legally he's guilty. You're saying, well, probably I should get out of here.
Yeah, because that's a subjective way to look at it.
Yeah, I don't think that human beings don't act that way, but our legal system does act that way.
Okay, even our legal system does this, right? We have bodyguards for... No, wait. Yeah, it does in some situations. Bodyguards protect important people, right? And what they do is assume everybody is a threat.
Yes, but they don't take action against those people.
Well, let's suppose somebody said they just wanted to shake the hands of the president. Automatically, you assume that they're guilty of wanting to do something else.
No, you don't.
Yes, that's what bodyguards do, right?
No, I don't agree. Bodyguards
Okay, so
do
they're gonna
not
say.
necessarily.
So they're gonna say, okay, so now that you.
Hey.
No, bodyguards
Bodyguards do
assess
not
threat.
bodyguards do not necessarily assume that you're going to try to hurt someone. They just
They're
don't do
supposed to
that.
assess the threat.
Yeah. Like they're
Aren't they-
using evidence.
Okay, so suppose I went to the White House and I told the bodyguards I just want to shake Trump's hand.
Yeah, but the reason that they might say no to that is because you haven't gone through the proper channels.
But like, why? I'm telling them honestly. Hey, I just want to shake their hands. They're like, no.
Yo,
No,
if your
but,
dad
like,
plays golf,
dude,
if your
like,
dad
why
plays
would
golf,
Trump be interested in shaking your hand though?
Like
That's the thing, man. No,
that'd be a good
there's no
reason.
one
That'd be a
there.
good reason. I'd be an Arab, and
No,
yeah.
but the point is, there's no cameras there, man. You haven't like organized it through his office. You're saying like randomly, I want to shake his hand. And first of all, like you couldn't even get into the White House, man. And it's not necessarily because they think you're a threat. It's because in minimizing threats, they have protocols that you have to follow.
Okay, so all right, so that's literally like what we do in like.
but that's a matter of national security.
Yeah,
Not a
that's
matter
not
of
assuming
security
that people are guilty.
security is literally assuming
Vivi.
people are guilty. Yeah.
No, it's not assuming
no,
people are
it's
guilty.
assessing threat.
Yeah, it's assuming that people are a threat or could be a threat.
Which is that's assuming somebody can be guilty.
Dude, there is
Yes,
a difference
they can
between
be. Of course,
assuming
people
and
Okay, but
can
like,
be
assessing.
why don't you assume that people can be innocent?
We do.
Because
That's
there's
what
a
can be
difference.
guilty means. Can be guilty implies can be innocent.
Yeah, you can be both. You can.
No, I mean like, okay,
Yeah.
so let's take a border example, and there's a vetting process, but like, hey, let's just assume they can be innocent, so let's just let them in without a vetting process.
No. That's assuming they are innocent, mate. Do you
No,
know
they
the difference
can.
between
All right.
No. There's a difference between can be and are. What's the difference?
Probability.
Can be means it's possible, but not necessarily certain.
And what does are mean?
Are means it's absolutely certain.
Correct. So if you say they can be innocent, are you saying that we should let them in without checking?
No.
No, correct. So
But
the
like,
can
okay.
be.
All right. So
Can
like,
be means we should check.
why do we need security?
Why do we
Why
need
do-
security? Because
Yeah.
people can be threats.
Okay. Why
Not
do we need
because
a
they
military?
are
Why do we need a military?
because other countries can pose threats.
Mm-hmm. So then, why do we use our military in other countries?
Oh, that depends on
I'm
the country.
confused.
So like,
your country uses them in other countries for shit reasons. My country doesn't really use them in other countries for shit reasons.
all right. So like, it's legal in the United States to use it in that way.
I mean, it's not really legal as such. Like, a country can do whatever they want. That's outside the bounds of legality.
I'm gonna have to look into that. But I think it's actually
it's
legal.
not. No. It can't be illegal for a country to go to war, man. Like, that's outside of what's legal.
So there's actually a Patriot Act in the United States, and that's legal. And it states that what is it? If you're suspected of being a terrorist, you forfeit your rights to fair trial are forfeited. You know?
I would say yes. I would say that is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be the case.
Okay, but it shouldn't be the case, but it is, and it's legal. And
yeah, but it's not my country, man.
Okay.
Like, that's your country that does that, and I
Aussie,
disapprove.
Bro. Fucking Aussie running around with the dingoes and the wallaby. You know what I'm saying?
Just saying, man. Like, I disapprove of that policy. I think that's shit. It's not good.
Okay. So there are situations, though.
How do we derive what we are ought to do?
No, there are no situations where you should deal with someone as if they are guilty.
I don't think it's justified. I just think it's convenient.
Yeah, but I don't think the convenience justifies it.
Correct.
Yeah, so I agree. Definitely, it can be convenient, and so that's why security, like you said, will sometimes err on the side of like you being a danger. But that doesn't mean that they're assuming that you necessarily are. That means that they are recognizing that it's their job to look for signs of danger, and if you fit even half of their profile for dangerous behavior, you're probably going to be categorized as too dangerous to be around this person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean you would actually do them any harm. It just means you're exhibiting anomalous behaviors.
Yes, so they assume I'm guilty.
No. They assume it's risky to have you around the person because you're acting strangely.
Hmm.
It's
mean,
like
that's
think about
that's-
this. Think about this.
Hold on.
No,
So that's ideal, right? And I would hope that's what the system kind of aims for, but that's definitely not what happens.
Okay, well let me give you an example in like lay terms, alright? So I'm walking down the street, right, and then there's someone that's like walking towards me on the same side of the street, right? And
Yes.
they're doing some crazy shit. They're fucking like, you know, talking to themselves, muttering, like swinging at something that isn't there, right? They look like they are mentally ill, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to engage with them, even if I'm not willing to make the assumption that they're definitely a schizophrenic. They look to me as if they don't really know what's real, and that is enough. Like their anomalous behavior is enough for me to avoid them.
I see.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's being prudential. No, that's the wrong word.
Prudential is correct, but it's more being cautious than it is prudential.
Gotcha.
But yes, it is definitely about being cautious.
I see. So we like to be cautious.
Yes.
That's why you judge people based on their clothing and not their skin color.
Damn.
That's why the term that Terrence is fond of using refers to cultural
Plausible.
behavior, not race.
Well,
Plausible
actually,
deniability.
I actually do use gender profiling personally to help me help gauge my cultural, like when I speak to people, each person I speak to differently according to like my perception of them, so I can better connect. So I do that also with people of different races.
Yo, do you think marrying a 9-year-old is cool?
Do I think marrying a 9-year-old is what?
It's cool.
I don't think it's cool.
Do you think it's valid, or is like it
I
should
don't
be done?
Listen, so this is what I'm going to state. I don't believe marrying anybody that is immature in any sense, like is valid
Consent.
or even.
The word you're looking
Exactly.
for is
Would you
consent.
consider that person
I'm
a
pretty
perfect
sure
human?
that
No. I don't think consent. I'm saying maturity because people that are
I'm pretty sure that Vivi only considers marriage of body pillows to be valid.
Waifu for waifu. Yo, but
Say again. You cut out.
Me?
would you consider that
Terrace.
50-year-old guy marrying a 9-year-old to be a perfect human?
What?
Would you consider a 50-year-old marrying a 9-year-old to be a perfect human?
No, I don't believe any. I don't believe perfect is subjective and it
role
doesn't
model.
exist.
Okay.
That seems
fuck the
like a
perfect
very,
human.
very
Like a
loaded
good
question.
role model.
Yeah,
Okay,
you sound like you're going at my man
Substitute it with
Muhammad
a
here.
good role model.
I reckon.
That's a hate crime in Canada. He'll have you arrested.
Yeah, Muhammad did nothing wrong. He never will do anything wrong. He's perfect.
Any other
So-
opinion is
The
illegal.
Canadian Human Rights Council
this is
told me
not
I have
Canada.
to say
Alright.
that.
Okay,
Alright.
so what are you saying?
Would you consider that a good role model?
I don't think that's a good that would present a good role model to society now.
At least in that aspect.
Okay.
So I'm kind of confused. What exactly is the question trying to get at?
Oh,
That's
whether
the
or not
dankness of your memes.
I'm just
So-
dissing Mohammed.
Before I get off to have breakfast, did I sufficiently answer the question about moral naturalism, or?
I don't believe. I think you're equivocating in sync.
Oh, dude, don't even start.
I think that InSync sufficiently answered a lot of questions today.
Were we talking about moral naturalism? Oh
Yo,
yeah, we were
just
talking
because
about
he's an
objective.
Aussie,
Yeah,
just
objective.
because he has an accent, all right, doesn't mean
yeah,
he's dumb.
I hate to
I'm not
break it to you,
equivocating.
Crambo.
Okay,
but
so
I
first of
think
all,
Terrence might
like
make
you
the
did,
soundboard before you.
I want to clarify. So
What do
Might
you
make the
think
soundboard
equivocating is,
before you.
Movie?
I think
Oh,
equivocating is
probably. I'm
stating
never getting on that soundboard. I'm too
stating
sensitive.
something and equating it to something else when used in different
No.
contexts.
No,
Like for example,
that's not what equivocating is.
Classless, I'm
Like-
just too centrist to be on your
so
soundboard.
if I say for example my definition
Woke
of
center.
that, right?
Yeah.
And then I say, then I start using example. Then I start, and once you accept that, I start using that same definition to be the one that religious people hold it to be.
Yeah, that would be equivocating, correct.
Correct. Now I want like you use the word objective morality.
Yeah, no, I said morality is an objective phenomenon.
Correct. So we agree that it's an objective phenomenon. But
Well,
the thing is,
that makes it objective. That's full stop.
okay, that makes it objective. But the thing is, you cannot state that anybody's morals are objectively correct.
I never did.
Or
I
they're
didn't do that.
objectively like there's no such thing as something being objectively moral.
Oh, I don't accept that.
Yeah. Okay, just making clear.
No, I do think there is such a thing as something that's objectively moral. Just because you can't figure it out doesn't mean there's not a best thing that you could do.
But like, isn't morality subjective in the first place? We said that.
No, it isn't.
We said
Morality.
it's an objective phenomena.
Yes, morality is an intersection between objective, subjective, and a couple of other levels of analysis as well.
So,
for instance, your social conventions play a part in your morality. They don't determine the moral thing, but they're definitely involved. And so it's like, it's a coincidence of your subjective values, the objective facts, intersubjective, like cultural convention, and a couple of other things as well.
so we have moral means is to be concerned with the principles of right and wrong behavior and the goodness or badness of human character. By definition.
Well, morality is to do with how you should act, but yeah.
Okay, so how you should act, how you ought to act, right?
Correct. Yes.
But the thing is, like, an ought is subjective. It depends on value.
No, I don't accept that.
It's like it depends on like something you assign.
No, you don't assign value. You have values inbuilt into you.
Okay, correct. We like the
Yes, you can say it's subjective, but like your subjective preferences are objective. You don't get a choice about them. They're not like based on your arbitrary determinations.
Okay, so they're objective. They exist, but they may not be objective.
They're determined, like they're deterministic in an objective sense.
They exist because of objective reasons.
Yes, but also they are completely reducible to those objective reasons. Like the reason that you have a different understanding of like what you ought to do than I do is because we have different experiences and different DNA, and if we had the same experiences and the same DNA, we would agree.
Correct.
Yes. So when you say that it's subjective, the fact that we would agree about it seems to indicate that it's not subjective in the arbitrary sense.
So, but there are no universal moral principles.
How do you know that? Just because we haven't figured out what they are doesn't mean that there aren't any. Are you saying, for instance, have you ever heard of the categorical imperative?
The categorical imperative? No.
Correct. Okay, so that is something proposed by Immanuel Kant about exactly that. It's proposed to be, an objective moral principle.
What is it called again? What is it called again?
The categorical imperative.
This is surprisingly productive.
Well, yeah, when it's me and insane. Joking.
Well,
so
it started off.
Do you know what the golden rule is? Do you know what the golden rule is?
The golden rule, no.
It's treat other people how you would like to be treated.
Oh, that. I don't think that's moral.
Stop. I mean that is a moral injunction, but like because this is how you should behave. That's exactly what it like speaks to. So the categorical imperative is Immanuel Kant's attempt to improve the golden rule to be like more specific and precise. It says, act as you would want all other people to act towards all other people. Act according to the maxim that you would wish all other rational people to follow, as if it were a universal law. That is the categorical imperative.
As if it was a universal law?
Yes, correct.
So,
So it's like, devise in your mind what you think the best way to act should be, and act in such a way. That's the categorical imperative.
yeah. Then that means we would all be moral.
Yes.
Whatever we engage in doing, it would.
That's correct. Yes. You're always acting harmoniously, even if you are like limiting the scope of analysis.
I guess I don't understand why we even have such a thing called morals. Because you can't act immorally. We all act morally. We're like, whatever I do, it would be moral because I would think it's best for me. I would think I would wish everybody acted that way.
It has nothing to do with you thinking it's best for you. It's moral if the thing that you've picked is is acting in such a way that not only would it be best for you, but it would be best for everybody if everybody acted in that way. That's the categorical imperative.
So what he's saying is, like according to Kant, right? What makes something moral is whether or not, if everyone did it, whether or not it would be beneficial for society. So if everyone did what you were doing and it damaged society, then what you're doing is immoral.
That seems more altruistic than it does seem moral to me.
No.
Morality has to do with how you should act, Vivid. Okay, if the injunction is related to how you and other subjects should act, by definition it is moral.
Think of it this way. If everyone did it and it hurt society, then it would be immoral. Like, think about theft, right? If you were to engage in theft, right, then you alone, as an individual, might not damage society much. But if everyone engaged in theft, then it would be immoral, right? Now, according to Kant, like this has a lot of other implications too, right? Being gay would be considered immoral, right? Murder is obviously immoral. So, when you like put it into that like sort of collective perspective when you think of what Kant thinks is moral.
So being gay would be immoral.
According to him, yes, because if everyone was gay, it would damage society.
I'm not so sure about that. I would think that the attitude wouldn't be regarding being gay. It would be regarding individual differences in sexual orientation and how we react to them.
No, but the thing is, if everybody engaged in being gay, humanity would die.
That's not relevant though. The relevant thing is not something you can't choose. You can't choose to be gay or not to be gay. That's irrelevant. What you can choose is how you respond to people being gay.
Okay, so let's say my decision not to enter a relationship. If everybody did that, humanity would die.
Yeah, so that's probably amoral. Yeah.
Amoral?
Well, I mean, you're just not doing something. Yeah, you're not like saying that it's immoral to get into a relationship. You're just saying I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's lacking of the morality. It's not like immoral.
Okay, so if everybody, if everybody flew, like, this is literally what I'm thinking. If everybody did any job, we would all suffer.
No, your analysis is superficial, man. You need to think about it in terms of like how we should act in general, not how you should do a specific thing. Not everybody in the world should do exactly the same thing in terms of the details. We should all use the same strategy in terms of trying to bring about a valued goal, which is to act in such a way that your action is in general consistent with other people's actions, even if the details conflict. Sounds
to me it's like a social contract.
Yeah, it is a type of social contract. I'm telling you, like like Immanuel Kant derived a formula for the social contract. He said it was called the categorical imperative.
Mm-mm-mm. But we don't have choice. We don't
Yes,
have free
but
choice. We don't have free choice.
we went over this yesterday, Vivi. We have the ability to influence, though.
I don't follow. I do understand that we are used as the tool, and you said because of that we control, and I agreed with that. We control, but the thing
Yes.
is, like, we
So we
don't.
have control.
Yes, but we don't. All right. So we are the tool through which things happen.
Yeah. Well, we're one of them. Yeah.
We are among the tools. Yes, we are one of the tools that through which things happen, but we don't. We don't influence that our decision.
That's irrelevant. But like our decisions influence things, even if we don't influence the decisions. Well, the thing that you call you is like not just limited to your ability to make free decisions, dude.
So what I'm thinking is this is not something that falls into the same category, like knowledge category, as an objective reasoning.
Okay, look, it sounds to me like you're a bit confused about what that term means, but I have to go for now, so we'll have to pick it up later.
Sure. I'm gonna one second. I'm just gonna. Well, remember that diagram we looked at the other day?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it doesn't fall in the same category as, for example, like the free will versus determinism, those type of arguments, right? I don't think falls in the same line. It falls in the same category.
Okay, well, let's have a look at it. Maybe a bit later today, or maybe
We
tomorrow.
still need to watch that movie.
Yeah, dude. But again, I have to go for now, so I'll catch you guys later.
All right, take care, man.
Later.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.